But games like Space Invaders doesn't really have a story behind it, but we put a story kind of our own layered on top of the game. So a lot of times, we'll take something very simple like Missile Command, for example. Missile Command doesn't really have a story behind it, but people say, oh yeah, I'm a commander on a moon base, I'm shooting down missiles, or somebody else says, no, I'm defending America against foreign missiles that are coming in. So a lot of times we can add a story on top of what's happening, and learners or people typically do. As a designer, you're going to want to think, do I want to consciously give them a story about what's happening, or do I want them to kind of add a story on top? Monopoly story of I'm trying to take over, all the real estate in New Jersey or something like that, right? So you could then see yourself as a mobster or whatever, whoever takes over real estate these days, Donald Trump. So you could think about different stories and adding them on top of, and again, you as a designer want to think, is this something I want the learner to do, or do I want to be in control of the story?
What about strategy? How many of you have a very defined strategy for how you play Monopoly? Several, like or you think, how many of you think Boardwalk's the way to go to win Monopoly? You have to have Boardwalk. Anybody think they want to occupy one whole side of the board and that's their ultimate strategy? Yes. How many people think acquiring all of the railroads or all of the utilities? You are creating in your game, you're deliberately trying to build in strategic choices for play. People can choose to do this or this and try and affect the outcome with their choice. That's strategy. Contrast that with what's the chance element in Monopoly. There are several. Rolling dice, that's definitely a chance element. You don't know what you're going to roll. Someone said cards. What are you specifically thinking of? Community, chest, and chance. Some of those are good, some of those are bad. Those are probably the three biggest, the two sets of cards and the dice are three big chance elements. Is it a competitive game or a cooperative game? I think I got the answer. So that's a great example of thinking about a game, and that's why we always tell people the first step in becoming a learning game designer is to play games yourself, but you're evaluating them while you're playing, and you're thinking about these elements and what's there and how it's used. What are the mechanics? Gosh, could I reuse this mechanic? Is it something that would incorporate well into a learning game? You can start thinking about games this way. It would be very helpful to you as you were designing games yourself. So with that said, do we want to go into this?